Hi everybody, it's Franny from Heidi and Franny's Garage, and today I'd like to continue my little series on working on your own car with something maybe a little bit different. I want to talk to you about the components of success. So I think of it this way. There's three components, major components, and the first one is time, and then interest, and then the last one is threshold talent. So before I get into those three, let me define what I consider success. So success to me is when you exceed your own expectations at something and experience a moment of pure joy. It's you get done with something and it came out better than you thought, maybe really better than you thought, and you're like, oh yeah, I totally nailed it. This is awesome. That wonderful warm feeling that you get. That's that moment of pure joy. So let's take a look at the three of these. The first one, time, seems probably pretty obvious that you have to spend a lot of time on something, even to the point of being immersed in it, especially when you're just learning it. The second one, interest, has sort of a symbiotic relationship with time. And if you have a huge amount of interest, it's much easier to spend a lot of time on something. It also kind of gets your mind into a different place as well, which is kind of cool. But that third one, threshold talent, that one's a kind of a bummer. So that's something that's kind of built into you. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, how do I know if I have threshold talent? Well, if you have the talent required for whatever you're working on, as you learn these new skills and you're working through it, you'll remember them and they'll be available next time you use them. If you're a little thin on the talent area, what's going to happen is that as you go back to use them again, you're not going to have the confidence. You're not going to have that feeling of trust that you should have in your abilities to do something. So you can probably spend a bit more time and if you've got enough interest and maybe drag things along a little bit, but you're going to have trouble getting those moments of pure joy and you're going to experience a bit more angst with that sort of thing. So let me give you an example. So several years ago, I wanted to pick up my trombone again and start playing again. So I'd played in high school and played in college and played in jazz bands and stuff, and it was really fun, and I absolutely adore music, and I thought, you know what, I want to pick up my horn again. This will be great fun. So I found a really, really good music instructor, bow instructor here, and started taking lessons and things, and was able to get into a couple of jazz bands, and then finally I got a seat in a salsa band, and that was to me the pinnacle. I love salsa. It's hard to play, and it's a lot of fun. So I was really, really excited about that. I would come home every day from work and I would shed all those parts and everything, but over time I just spent so much effort and I really, really wanted it to succeed, but I had spent so much time and I just felt like I wasn't progressing really. And I get to the gigs and I didn't have the confidence I needed, and I felt like I had to constantly go back and relearn things over and over, and I'm like always confused about certain things and stuff. It was really kind of annoying. So after years of playing, I finally just had to kind of put the brakes on it and push it away. It was an awful thing for me. It was just terrible. I felt awful. I was so bad I couldn't listen to music for like a year. It absolutely broke my heart. Well, it was about that time that I started that. I was like, what went wrong? And I kind of came up with these three components here. And I think I was realizing that I was a little thin on the threshold talent, and that's why it was just always so much work. And it was just a really hard realization. So about that time also, I thought, you know what, well, let me try something else. I got back into building my model airplanes. It's something I had done since I was little. My dad was an airline pilot, flew for United, and he flew Caravels and DC-8s and 727s back in that glory time of aviation. It was just awesome back then. And my parents were divorced, and my little brother and I, when we would get with my dad, we needed something to really connect on, and building models really did it. He was an avid shipbuilder, and he taught me all these great skills of how to build things, and we would build these model airplanes, and they were pretty simple and stuff, but he would help us through the different steps, and I garnered a lot of skills and things from him. And I always just sort of felt like that always worked for me. It was always kind of easy. I always loved structures and love anything that flies, from butterflies to birds to airplanes. Awesome. So through high school and into college, I took engineering in college and graduated with a degree in aerospace engineering. And I just absolutely love airplanes and all that stuff. So I thought, well, I'll get back into building model airplanes. So I can just look at a kit. I can look at plans, build from scratch. None of that bothers me. I've got all those skills ready to go, and I just have to start cutting wood and gluing things together. And before too awfully long, I've got a model airplane. And when I take them to the field and fly them, I'm not worried about them. I know they're going to fly, and it's super rare that anything goes wrong with one of those airplanes. So there's an example where I think I have all three. I put in a lot of time. Those model airplanes can take months and months to build. And then I have a lot of interest in it. I just absolutely adore anything airplane-y. And then I think I have the threshold talent because I can bring those skills along with me and I'm not constantly trying to relearn things. Okay, great. So that's an example of success and an example of not so much success. How does all that apply to the cars and working on cars? So as you're starting out, you've got to learn all this extra stuff and you got a lot of things you got to get into. So hopefully you're going to be spending a decent amount of time on it. You've got to learn how to use the tools. You've got to learn the processes and procedures of working on whatever it is, like oil change or changing spark plugs or whatever. You're going to have to garner information on what parts to use, all that sort of stuff. So there's going to be a decent amount of time. You probably have a good amount of interest if you're watching this video, I would hope. So the interest can be anything like, oh, I love to work on mechanical stuff. It's just therapy for me. I love to get out in the garage, to, you know what, I just want to save some money. I just don't want to be eating out of house and home with these cars. And I just want to learn how to do some stuff so that I can save a decent amount of money. That's great. So you've got the interest and you've got the time. So as far as the talent goes, as you're working through it, it'll either start to flow really well for you as you get through it. Now, you're always going to have little problems here and there, but you're going to garner a lot of success and you're going to move through with your success through, and that's going to build your confidence. If you're not getting the confidence and you feel like you're just kind of everything is a struggle, you might be bumping up against that threshold talent a little bit, but that's okay. It's all right. So probably I would suggest that maybe for some in a scenario like that, maybe doing like the simple stuff, doing your spark plugs and doing your oil changes and stuff you can still save a huge amount of money on all that. And then if you're like, you see you're kind of a wonky, your CV joint rips or something and you're like, nah, it's a bit more than I really want to take on, you can take it down to a service shop, but you'll be able to speak intelligently about it. And you've already got the skills up to that point, so that's going to be super helpful for you as you negotiate through getting that repair done. Now, if you feel like, I've done these other ones, I feel super solid, I know I can get into this, and you want to take that CV joint apart and put it on the bench and clean it all up and put it all back on the car again, that's awesome. And then when you get done with it, you're like, yeah, I totally did my own CV joints. It was awesome. I know it sounds kind of weird, but no, I totally got into it and got it done. It was great. So anything like that, I changed out the suspension bushings. Just a little more advanced stuff on the car. Those sorts of things, if that's where you feel like you are, then you keep progressing. It's really fun. So, I don't know. Those are just some examples of what I consider success. And what do you think? Do you see those three components and the things you feel you've been successful in? Is that how you define success? Do you have another definition of success? And, just what do you think? Go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. I'd really, really like to know what your thinking are on that. So, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was enjoyable at least. And if you do have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below and I'll get right to them. There will be more videos in this series. I'm going to think about some of the tools and maybe some cool stuff to do with different tools and things that we need for working on the cars. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, safe travels. Bye.